If you enjoy my work, please subscribe and like. Also, check out my Patreon for early access, patron bonuses, and stay sparkly. Street Fair, Book 2 of the Fairfolk Chronicles, written by Jeffrey Cook and Catherine Perkins, narrated by Fairy Princess Lolly. Chapter 4, Still New. Anchakdera, the last home, lay in bright and golden sunshine, because it had been back under the reign of the Seelie court for nearly 2 months. But Riacard, the Unseelie king, still strutted across the front lawn like he owned the place to greet his daughter. Once they actually reached each other, however, both their smiles got a little more strained with brief, awkward hesitation before finally they hugged. "I will get the hang of that eventually," Riacard muttered as they parted. "It's okay," Megan said. "We're new at this." "Yeah!" Aisling piped up above them. "Hugs? Court? Not enough practice?" From atop the Count's back, she shrugged her tattered, painted lady wings. "Speaking of practice, not much new to report on her studies, sir. But they should be getting better now that there isn't school to get in the way." "Of course. Thank you for your efforts, Aisling, and for bringing her over for this visit." The king also nodded to the crow. "Counts to 18, you're looking well. There must be something to be said for Seattle's rat problem." "Gah!" Riacard shifted a foot to look at his brown leather boots, then shook his head, coal-black hair falling behind his shoulders. "Thank you, but these are actually quite old." The king looked back to Megan. "How..." And the awkwardness was apparently not yet over. "How is your mother?" There was nothing worried or brittle in the she-king's ice-blue eyes, just genuine curiosity, and perhaps an acknowledgement that a sad thing existed. "She's Mom." "Ah, as she's been for some time, as I understand it. Let's get inside. How are you feeling about your magical progress?" "Getting somewhere, I think. The winds and stuff are easiest still. I keep practicing healing and inspiration, since Aisling says those are things most bards can do. But, it's hard to tell if I'm getting better or not. I don't really want to injure myself, and Aisling is enthusiastic at random times as it is. And..." Megan paused. And it was getting easier in big leaps and things back in October and November. Then it got a little bit trickier. And then spring hit, and half of it was like starting over. Riacard glanced at Aisling. "Seasonal affinity?" The pixie nodded. "She takes before her old man." Megan blinked. "Okay, I sort of get it. Dad's all about winter, snow, ice, and, winter things. But shouldn't that be takes after?" "I said what I meant," Aisling said. "What she means," Riacard stepped in, "is that you're an autumn." "Caw!" "Yes, counts to 18. She has numerous characteristics marking her as spring, and I'm sure she'd love to take you shopping as her fashion consultant for back to school. At the moment, however, we're discussing magic, not sweaters. And I believe there's some restriction or other about taking crows into shopping malls." "Ah!" Agreed. Then Riacard turned his attention back to Megan. "As my affinity is winter, it sounds like yours may be autumn." "I am pretty good with the dancing leaves," Megan said. "Trust me, just the beginning. I'm sure Aisling will be happy to continue helping you, and we'll consider that a focus area for now." Aisling nodded enthusiastically. "I'm good at focus." Megan thought about responding, then gave up and looked back to her father. "How about you? With a little extra time on your hands, have you been looking over that list of people you were talking about?" "No, I've never been the sort of man who was good at looking over lists." The rigors of choosing a new seneschal are exactly the sort of thing I used to have a seneschal for." He frowned, and for a moment the only sounds were their footsteps on the smooth stone of the front halls of Anchakdira and the flap of the Count's wings. Then Megan sniffed. "Oh my gosh, that smells delicious. Can I get some of those cinnamon rolls, Dad?" "Certainly," he said. "Stop right into the kitchen and ask. I'll wait in my room." Megan raised an eyebrow. "You'll wait?" "I invite many kinds of trouble, dearest," the king said. "The result of looming over brownies in their own kitchens does not happen to be among them." "Okay." Megan headed into the indicated kitchen and almost smack into a small, tow-headed figure in baggy clothes. "Oh, hi, Care." The brownie looked flustered. "Hi, Highness." And there was that sort of bow, sort of curtsy again. Megan had known the brownie for nearly 8 months now, and she was still slightly confused. "So, I wanted to tell you that the cinnamon rolls smell delicious, and I was wondering if any were available." "Oh, thank you. Yes, you can have one, of course." Kara scurried over to cut one from the cooling pan. "Is Lani with you?" Kara asked. "Thanks. No, she's back in Seattle with Mac." Seeing that the ruddy little face looked slightly less cheerful at that, Megan added, "I'll tell her." But talking about Care always felt complicated when Megan didn't even... "Look, Care, I'm sorry to ask abruptly, but are you a boy or a girl?" Care shuffled slightly while handing Megan a small plate with the cinnamon roll on it. "Not really," Care said. "Oh," Megan smiled. "Okay, thanks. I'll tell Lani you said hi. Hope we see you at the market sometime." Care smiled, then gave another little bow curtsy. "That would be great." Aisling returned from whatever food had attracted the Count's attention, and they made their way into the unseelie wing of the castle. Megan had grown somewhat accustomed to everything from the thorn vines to the sometimes macabre artwork. None of it spoiled her appetite. When they reached the entwined wood meeting table in the western tower, her father was waiting, as were 2 leopards curled up around the roots beneath it. Kasha, horned and hooved and bedecked in bronze that nearly matched her skin, leaned against a wall, apparently watching her cats lounge until Riakar got back. "Hey, Megan, Aisling, Count," the satirist said. "Hey, Kasha, Maxwell, Jude," Megan replied, crouching to scritch the latter just under the edge of his aviator helmet, while holding her plate high over her head with the other hand. "You're actually in Fairy for a change." Kasha grinned. "Your dad made it worth my while to hang out. We managed to have a good time in Fairy without even stabbing anything. You didn't bring Lani or Sir Blushes a lot. They're babysitting." Megan sat down next to her father and started properly on her cinnamon roll, and probably making contingency plans for tomorrow while they're at it. "Makes sense. I'm definitely looking forward to playing both fairs. Maybe I'll do some shopping while I'm at it." "That reminds me, Megan," her father said. "I should get you one of my bookmarks. Let you do a little easy shopping." "You realize how weird that sounds, right?" Megan asked. His eyebrow raised. "Well, someone's been taking her medication." But he smiled as he grabbed a heavy, leather-bound volume on the end of the table, opened it, and removed an old baseball card. Megan managed to keep herself from reaching with sticky fingers. "So, you're saying that they'll take baseball cards as payment at this goblin market?" Riakard shook his head and smiled. "No, I'm saying they'll take that baseball card as payment at the goblin market. You ought to be able to get just about anything you want for it." I'm not sure I want to know, but exactly why is this one so special?" Riakard chuckled. "The easy answer is this. It's one of my bookmarks. I'll want it back. How are they supposed to know that? Megan asked as she licked a little bit of icing off her fingers. Trust me, they'll know. The merchants at the market have a way of knowing the value of things. Okay, Megan said. I'll trust you on that. So what did you want to ask me? As Kasha said, she'll be playing both festivals. I'll only have time for one concert on the honored guest's dais. I was hoping you'd join me. Sure, why wouldn't... Oh, is the queen going to be one of the other honored guests? And her guy? We'll be joining Orla, yes, Riacard said. Her General Inwar hopes to make it as well, though he may be detained by his other responsibilities. Isn't he her bodyguard or something? He's certainly something, but he's served the role of bodyguard among his other security functions, yes. He has ever since he affiliated with Anchaktira. Affiliated? What, like the Menehune? So he really isn't she. Is that why he's so chilly? As to Falfar go, Inwar has generally struck me as quite warm and compromising. Leo Salfar? Megan attempted. Light elves! For once, Ashling's linguistic interjection was helpful. But indeed, Riacard continued, General Inwar is from Scandinavia, and, to wind about the digression, he may or may not be at the concert in the Goblin Market, but his queen certainly will. So, Megan, will you join us on the dais? Megan sighed. Well, okay. No hard feelings after all. That got a very approving smile from her father. Megan had picked up pretty quickly that he wasn't going to let a little thing like being set up to be betrayed and imprisoned, almost leading to a seasonal magical disaster, spoil a perfectly cordial professional relationship with the Seelie Queen. Okay, Megan repeated. Wouldn't miss it.